Hey guys, what's up? I'm Erin and welcome back to the channel. You know how some people seem to build wealth effortlessly while others seem to stay stuck, no matter how hard they try? Well, it's not luck, it's not magic, it's just understanding what a lot of people never learn, and that is that wealth comes in stages. Once you know what these stages are, you can figure out where you are and what it takes to climb higher. Depending on who you ask, there are 5, 6, or even 7 levels of wealth. But the core journey is always the same. You're going from financial struggle to financial security to a stage where work becomes optional and finally, total financial freedom. Yes, I know other creators have talked about this before, but I want to take it a step further. I don't want to just describe the stages. I want to break it down into key tangible markers like net worth, savings rate, income sources, and key lifestyle markers that happen at every single stage. Because here's the truth. Most people never even make it past stage 3 or 4. And it's not because they're lazy or incapable, but it's because no one ever gave them a roadmap. So let's build that roadmap right now together. I want you to think of wealth as a ladder, and each rung takes you higher, but each rung demands something more of you, whether that's a mindset shift, a new habit, or a new level of discipline. Here's a quick overview of the 7-stage model: financial struggle, solvency, stability, security, independence, freedom, and abundance and legacy. Each one reflects not just a financial shift, but a new mindset and a new set of habits. With that map in mind, let's start at the bottom, because no matter where you are today, the next step is absolutely within reach. Level 1, financial struggle. This is where money feels like a constant emergency. Your net worth is likely negative or close to zero, and your savings rate, let's be honest, it's probably non-existent. You might be spending more than your actual income. You likely only have one single income source, and maybe it's a bit irregular. Credit cards are your only backup plan. Bills could be late. Groceries might feel like a luxury, and an unexpected expense, well, that feels like it could be a financial disaster. At this stage, money controls you, not the other way around. But the good news is you don't have to stay stuck here. Your main objective at this stage is to stabilize your cash flows. Maybe that is to build up a little bit of a cash buffer. Even $500 in a savings account can be life-changing. At this point, it's not about getting ahead, it's about finding a way where you can catch your breath. Next up is level 2, solvency. You're no longer sinking, but you're still in shallow water. Your net worth is probably just above zero. Maybe it's $0 to the $10,000 range. Your savings rate is low. It's probably close to 5 to 10%, but at least you're not sliding backwards. You've got a steady job, and for the first time, you're not relying on debt. For many people, this is where they land when they're fresh out of college. And let me be clear, you are not behind, you are at the starting line. Just crossing into this stage, that's progress. You're not thriving yet, but you're no longer in crisis mode. You may not have much saved, but the fact that you're no longer taking on debts, well, that's a win. Your next move is to build momentum. Start to build a small emergency fund. Automate your savings. Right now is where you build a strong foundation. Level 3 is stability. This is the first stage where things feel steady. Your net worth is likely $10,000 to $100,000, and you're saving 10 to 20% of your income. You've got a steady job, you're contributing to a 401k or an IRA, you're starting to build real sustainable habits around money. At this stage, you're not just trying to make it through the month, you're actually looking ahead. You finally feel like you can take a breath. You're not thrown into chaos with one small financial emergency like a flat tire. You have an emergency fund built up, you're saving for the future, you finally feel stable. Here's the thing, this is where most people settle. Because you're no longer in pain, you kind of feel comfortable. So people stop pushing, and then before they know it, years go by and their finances were just coasting. If that's you, here's your challenge. This is the perfect time to increase your income, not just cut more from your budget. Shift your focus from just saving to building wealth. At this point, you want to create margin. You want to accelerate yourself out of this stage and to building real wealth, because stability is a win, but it's certainly not the summit. Next up is level 4, security. At this stage, you've moved beyond just staying afloat. You're building real financial safety. Your net worth is likely between $100,000 and $500,000, and you're probably saving 15 to 25% of your income, maybe even more. Here you're consistently contributing to your retirement accounts. Any high interest debt, well, that's a thing of the past. It's completely gone at this point, and you're also starting to know that your investments are showing real growth. This is the phase where your money starts to work for you rather than the other way around. You've got a solid emergency fund, investments, your housing is stable. You even probably have all the appropriate insurances in place. At this point, your financial foundation feels stable. You're not just weathering storms, you're preparing for them in advance. But here's the challenge. This is another very common stall point. Because you feel secure, progress can start to feel optional. That urgency is gone, and because you get comfortable, it's easy to turn that into a sense of complacency. If that's you and you're ready to keep moving forward, here's the thing. Start thinking like an investor, not just a saver. That means expanding beyond retirement accounts into brokerage accounts, real estate, or even a business. It's time to start building income streams that don't rely on your time. Because while security is a very powerful milestone, real financial freedom, well, that comes next. Level 5, independence. Here is where the game really changes. You've built enough wealth at this point that your investments cover all of your essential expenses. Housing, utilities, transportation, clothing, you name it, it's covered by your investments. At this point, you can work if you want to, but you don't have to. Your net worth is typically between $500,000 and maybe $1.5 million. But independence, it isn't about a magic number. It's about how much income your assets generate relative to your lifestyle. At this point, you may still be saving or investing, say, 25 to even 40% of your income, especially if you're accelerating towards full retirement. At this point, your income mix is changing. Maybe you still have your day job, but you have other income sources, maybe from a business, maybe from rental properties, maybe from investments through dividends or interest payments. At this point, your investments are really doing the heavy lifting. This is the stage the FIRE movement is often chasing. Financial independence, retire early. But even if you don't want to retire early, just knowing that you could walk away changes everything. That peace of mind changes how you show up and how you protect your time. So how do you move beyond this? Here's your focus now. Start dialing in your withdrawal strategy and get serious about tax efficiency. At this point, you've spent years building wealth. Now it's about accessing it strategically and sustainably. Think Roth conversions, capital gains strategies, flexibility for healthcare or long-term care, and rising costs down the road. Because at this point, you're not just managing your money anymore. You're now designing a life. Level 6, freedom. This is the stage where wealth becomes less about survival and more about intention. You're not just covering the basics, but you're covering every aspect of your lifestyle that you could imagine, whether that is travel, hobbies, and even helping loved ones. Your net worth is typically between 1.5 million and 5 million. But again, it's not about the number. It's about how much freedom this number gives you. Can you say yes to everything that matters and then no to everything else? At this stage, work is completely optional. You have multiple income sources. Maybe you even have a business, but you're no longer running the day-to-day operations. It's about autonomy. It's about having complete control of your time. So what's next? At this point, the shift goes from finances to fulfillment. What do you really want your days to look like? What energizes you? What kind of impact do you really want to have? Use this stage to create intentional structure for your life. It's easy to drift when you no longer have work, so you want to build a rhythm that truly energizes you. This could be mentoring, volunteering, or launching something entirely new, but doing it from a place of joy. At this point, currency isn't about money. It's about time, control, and purpose. And finally, level 7, abundance and legacy. This is the top of the ladder, and the view here is completely different. You have more than enough. Your net worth is typically 5 million or more, and by this point, the number itself really fades into the background. Abundance isn't about what you have. It's about what you can do with what you've built. At this point, you still have multiple income sources. Maybe you even have a family office or even a charitable foundation. But at this point, money is really a tool used for impact. And you're no longer really thinking about financial freedom. Instead, you're thinking about the legacy you can leave behind. You're funding scholarships or building generational wealth or donating to causes that you believe in. At this point, wealth isn't about how you shape your life, it's really how you shape the world around you. The final tip, don't wait until this stage to think about your legacy. Start planting those seeds earlier through how you spend, give, and show up at every single level. Because at the end of the day, real wealth isn't about what you keep, but more so what you're able to pass on. So when you think about this, where are you on this ladder? Are you just starting out? Are you further along than you actually thought? Well, maybe it's important to know that no matter where you are, you don't have to be stuck. Wealth isn't built overnight. It's built intentionally, step by step. Most people never make it past stability or security. But if you're watching this, I want you to know you can go further. It doesn't take perfection, it takes action. Use where you are, your current level, to build to get to the next one. Share where you are on your journey down below. I'm very curious. I always read every single comment and reply to as many as I possibly can. I post new videos every single week. If you got anything at all out of this one, please give it a like. If you're new here, please consider subscribing, or if you know of someone who might get something out of this type of content, please consider sharing. I'll see you soon. Bye. Day 2 of my sconces being burnt out. Sorry about that. I will fix it soon. Not for this video though. Doing construction next door. It's gonna be a rough month for me. Not the other round. At this point, it's truly about welcome to Canada. Time, choice, and purpose. It's not the 3 that I wanted to say because I think it ended up being redundant and I don't want to do that. I'm sorry. Time, choice, and purpose. Can you remember those 3 things?